Previously on the Stanbic National Schools Championship.
Hi guys! Hi! Today is the first stage of the Stanbic National Schools Championship. You will be sitting a 30-minute exam where you'll answer questions on life skills, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship. So you guys, SDG is sustainable. Okay, we are going to say it again. SDG is?
Sustainable Development Goals.
Fantastic. We are adapting to the new normal. I'm about to have a Zoom call with some of the patron teachers.
Wow.
Good afternoon, teachers. How are you doing? How are you coping with Corona?
We are trying to not to fall sick at least.
The teachers are so passionate about these ideas. If you are an investor, which business would you invest in and why? At the time of taping this episode, the COVID-19 pandemic had affected more than 16 million people across the entire world, with only 2 deaths in Uganda. It shut down major corporations and businesses, and many were unemployed. Ordinarily, we would have been at Gayaza High School in a boot camp, with teachers and students all in one place. But because of the lockdown, we brought the boot camp online. Take a look.
In life, we all make choices, day in and day out. The choices we make determine the context in which we operate. Like you, I went to school. There were about 5 careers. First career was a doctor, lawyer, engineer, accountant, and the 5th one, failure. So it so happens that young people thought if they're none of the 4, then they're failed in life, which is not it. One time I went to a rural school and I was speaking to this young girl, and I told her, "Why are you studying?" She said, "Oh, Madam Faith, I want to study and go to Kampala and go to Makerere University and graduate and get a job." And I told her, "But you're privileged, you are lucky. You have land in the village where you can practice farming and agriculture." And she told me, "Madam Faith, farmers didn't study. Until you graduate, and on your graduation ceremony, they tell you that agriculture is the backbone of the economy of Uganda, and you're given a free hoe. That's when you realize that all this time, the things that you needed were around you." So for our session today, consider career as working. Because career is not limited to what you studied in school. You can find a graduate in biochemistry and has a career in fashion and design. Currently, recruiting and hiring companies don't hire job hunters. They're looking for people who see themselves as a talent and are looking at developing a career. Are you that person? Oftentimes, some of us got into spaces even before our CV was seen. Ask Brian, and then later they ask for your CV, So it's important young people get to know yourself. Use this time to get to know who you really are.
What is wealth to you? Wealth means different things to different people, and we are all on our very individual wealth journeys, which are very closely linked to our life journeys. So let's start with making money. How do you currently make money? Well, for some, we work and we earn a salary, and that is how we make money. For those of us in school, pocket money is the source of wealth. For others, it's an inheritance. Money was passed down to you, and bang, you had wealth. So now let's move to spending money. The main point here is about budgeting. And if you're in school, you may think that budget thing sounds for government when they are planning. It sounds like something out there, Even if you're in school, you can get that pick fair book and write down what you spend on. All a budget does, it tells your money where to go. Instead of wondering where has the money gone, it tells it where to go. So far we've talked about how you make money, we've talked about how you spend money, and right now we are going to move to the heart of our discussion, which is save and invest. But what I'm going to add, even before you do an investment, is what is your objective? Why are you investing in the first place? Investments are just vehicles to get you to your goals. But for many times, we don't have those goals in place, and hence we do an investment, then in the middle you say, I'm tired, I've seen something else which has a better interest, and you switch. But if everything is pegged to a goal, then you're working towards that goal to achieve it, and you allow the investment to reach its term. So that is what I would say about save and invest. The more you save, the more you have, and the more you can have to invest.
Investing is really the act of just allocating resources, usually in the form of money, with the aim of making a profit. Before you start on a journey of investment, the best place to start is really to invest in yourself. In fact, if you've not started earning, I'll tell you that you're in a privileged position, because the best place to be is where you learn before you earn. In terms of the local options here in Uganda, you as a person with as little as 100,000 shillings, these are the things that you can put your money into, and you will keep growing your money because your money will compound. Let's start with the basic, a fixed deposit account. So a fixed deposit is where you will approach the bank and say, I need to put away my money for a given period of time. The time is determined by you. Better than that yet, there's other things that you can invest your money in that will even give you higher interest. And these are sort of your government securities. Now, these are risk-free instruments. Simply put, it's the government borrowing from the public. So if you followed the budget that was read, you'll have heard the minister mention that the local funding element for the next financial year is up to $1 billion. This simply means that the government, through the Ministry of Finance and through the Bank of Uganda, will come to the public and issue securities, which you may have heard called treasury bills and treasury bonds, to be able to raise these funds. The difference really between a treasury bill and a treasury bond is that a treasury bill is short-term, while a government bond will be issued for longer tenors. The other important thing is that these are risk-free instruments. So the only risk you run in investing in a treasury bill or bond would be the government of Uganda defaulting. And what are the chances of that happening?
A business is any transaction that attracts value and there is somebody willing to pay for that value. So you can actually have a business in your head and be able to transfer that value, and then somebody is able to pay you. In the traditional sense, the purpose for business for many of us is to make money. And then the question happens is that after you've made the money, then what happens? So in the logical sense, the purpose of the business sometimes goes beyond just making the money. The ideal purpose for a business should be to actually meet a need, satisfy a requirement that society has, and then once that need is met, along the way you are able to make money and many other things that you want in life. Therefore, what is business planning? Business planning is the whole activity that encompasses all your faculties to come together and think about this great idea that you have. You plan for it in its detail, because the failure to plan is a planning to fail. I need to put a disclaimer here. There are some businesses that seemingly thrive without a plan, according to you. But let me tell you, the owners of these businesses, other than having the business plan written, they have this plan clearly in their heads. It is good to have a plan in the head. But the danger is that when you pass on, when you go to meet your creator, what happens to this plan? You die with it. This notion of thinking that things will work out themselves by God's way and miracle does not happen. I am a believer in miracles, but not in this one. Here there are no miracles. Numbers don't lie. The numbers will be able to show whether you're doing right or you're doing wrong. And therefore, the planning becomes of an essence.
Hello. Today on the show, we find out who qualifies to the next round of the Stanbic National Schools Championship. But first, we talk to the business analysts and the judges to share their experiences, what caught their eye, and what are the challenges that every participant went through and could improve. Welcome to the show. My name is Brian Morondo.
Today with me is quite an amazing team of 4 analysts, each representing the teams from the different regions. We have North, Central, East, and West. Or team from the Northern region. Please share your experience. How many ideas did you get to look at? And maybe what criteria did you follow to zero down to the 4 ideas that we're going with today?
My team looked at about 16 business ideas, and most of them were centered around food. What I used as a criteria was seeing how probably sustainable this business is, and how that would impact on their communities as well. So those are some of the things I looked at.
I looked at the Western region. We had 12 submissions that we looked at with my team. What we were basically looking for was financial projections, business viability, and community impact.
Most of the times when these business ideas are written, it is so hard to tell how long it will stand. So in your observation, do you think we have a chance of sustainability for the different business ideas you looked at?
I'll give a particular example of one of the schools that had an ingenious idea of genetically breeding rats. Yes. The continuity in that, it is novel, it is crazy, it's borderlining, it's a glimpse into the future. Because if you can breed rats in school, lab rats in school, people who did sciences know that you need to have a lab rat for every one of your experiments. And then the continuity is big time, because it could go into other schools also, because actually their plan was to supply to other schools. So that is disruptive already, supplying not ordinary rats. These are white rats, and then the plan to do hamsters. And this is a foundation of genetic and bioengineering, actually, if you think about it in that sense there. So yes, some of the schools had the right ecosystem to support these innovations. Yeah, that was my analysis.
But what do you have to say on participants that look at business ideas that are not relevant to the school? Because I am sure that has happened somewhere.
There's a team that suggested PlayStations within the school. Well, that was entertainment, yes, but that really would not drive growth to the next stage. The roadmap of product development or service development was not clear. And I think through helping these students continuously to think, how do I reiterate very fast, how do I develop products, beta A and go to the final MVP is going to be very key into helping these students get in line to what they're supposed to actually develop. Yes.
That is it about the Startup Challenge for this year's National Schools Championship. And we are looking forward to the next item, which will be pronouncing the winners and the people that have made it to the next stage. Please stay with us, and thank you for being with us.
And now the moment we've been waiting for. Out of 58 schools, we find out which school progressed to the next stage. And to help us do that, our partners, PwC. Let me welcome Rodney Hood Adrico.
Thank you so much. I'll just go right straight into it. So Central, there were 16 schools. That was the average score for Central, 65.09% was a good score. And the top 4 schools from the Central region, Mount St. Mary's College Namagunga, Nabisusa Girls School, King's College Wudo, and Namliango College. For the Eastern region, same trend again in terms of average score by evaluation area, but now there are 15 schools, an average score of 69.4%, probably did quite better than the Central schools in terms of average score. The best schools in here, Busoga High School, Mbale SS, and Mpumide Seed School. But then we had a tie between Teso College and Musano Vocational High. And what happens is that those went to the panelists, and they had to do a reassessment of the two schools. And based on their communication, they decided that the fourth school that they will take will be Musana Vocational High School. Then moving to Northern, same here as well. Top 3 schools, Hill City SS, Menta SS, and Ochel Champion SS. Yeah. Now, again, there was a tie between Kotido SS and St. Mary Assumpta. That again was thrown back at the business panelists, and based on their assessment and evaluation, the school that they chose to go with is Kotido SS. And then moving on to the final region, which is the Western region. From that region, Immaculate Heart, Boni Concedi Girls Vocational School, Chenjojo SS, and again for a third time, there was a tie between Chebambe Girls SS and the entire school. After evaluation and careful consideration by the business panelists, the school that took the day was Chebambe Girls SS.
Thank you so much, Rodney Hood. There you go, some newcomers, those that have been here before but unfortunately missed out. To whoever reached out and to all the participating schools, you are all winners. It's not just about winning the championship, it is the experience. Uganda is one of the top 3 most entrepreneurial countries in the world. However, 95% of the businesses started never see their second birthdays. Why? We're about to find out in a few minutes, because this is the Biz Grow category. And here, schools that started those businesses already started growing them. I'm going to find out if they are still growing them, whether they still even exist or have the sustainability capacity in their communities. Joining me are the judges, Judge Ronald, Judge Merlin, and Judge Amos. Nice to see you. Thank you. You look well. Amos is about to become the effects of COVID. Welcome. I think COVID has really exposed the capacity of our schools in terms of reaction, ICT coverage, and all that. What did you see as one of the major challenges for the schools, even in your interactions with people during this period? Ronald?
The big question during this period is whether businesses survive. So we were looking out for that to see whether the businesses the young people had started are actually still operational. So it was exciting to see that a number of them actually had kept on. And I think given what we have had over the last 4 months, it is critical that we appreciate how to make business systems strong so that they can be able to hold out during tough times, but also to adapt to change. Absolutely.
I think I must say I was impressed by their ability to continue to collaborate in spite of the distance to help these businesses continue.
It's just very nice to see that young people are getting the idea of doing business, but also understanding that they should be able to leave for other people to continue with some of the businesses they have. I was very impressed that in Chibuli, for example, the older students sold out the business 1.2 million shillings, went off their way, and I hope that they can continue with the business. But these guys were also able to put money together to buy those guys, seeing the viability of the business. That's extremely, very, very important. I was so impressed by this whole game, and I was thinking there's so many young people out there that could learn more. And beyond TV, I would think that maybe that we should create more platforms that young people can go and read the ideas that these people have put together and the challenges that they are going through for the general nation to learn.
Judge Merlin, which business caught your attention?
At Tinowa, I was doing honey, and I just found it the thinking, I think, was brilliant, figuring out that there's a product in the community, go to the farmers, pick it, pack it, what people call smart business. You don't have to produce honey, you don't have to do this, the honey is being produced.
You have to keep the bees anyway.
Exactly, you can't keep the bees, but how can you add value along the value chain? I think that really caught my eye, it was very exciting. I was really impressed by that kind of thinking.
I was very impressed by Holy Cross. Holy Cross, their presentation last year was very vibrant. And though I think that when it comes to theory, Kisubi was such a fantastic group of presenters. But in as far as Holy Cross, even the presentation this time round, they were able to actually mention the SDG goals properly lined up. They were not joking. What was also good is the fact that actually their business is growing. They're thinking about buying the tuk-tuk, they're thinking about the current machinery. But there are also issues that I must bring out. Because this competition is for trying to capture more capital. I was a bit saddened that they were not able to show us the accounting properly of where they've been in the last year or 2 years. Because you see, it does not matter how well you can speak. If you're going to the bank wants to see figures. They're not, absolutely. Numbers don't lie. They're interested in those numbers. So I think going forward, the guys that are young right now we should be able to give them an idea of making sure that they keep their books of accounts. One of the reasons I've been able to keep my businesses is because I don't go to the accounts and just withdraw. Our accounts are kept well, and it has helped us in such a time that we're able to have a bit of resources as we wait for the business to come back.
I think I totally agree with Judge Amos. It is a big challenge, but I don't think it's unique to these young people's business. It is actually a prevalent problem in many of the Ugandan businesses.
Wow. No matter the result, I hope that you can use some of these things to move your business to the next level. It's now time to find out which businesses progressed to the next level. Eleven businesses submitted, only 4 got to the next level. Our partners PwC will tell us who, and joining me is Barbara Patience Barunji.
So the Biz Grow Challenge had 11 schools participating. So in the first position, we have Holy Cross Lakeview SS.
Nice.
Second position, we have Chibuli SS. Third position, we have Wanyange Girls SS. And in the fourth position, Gayaza High School.
Thank you so much, Barbara, for what you did. There you have it. The top 4 businesses are in. Each of them will be competing for investment capital. If you are an investor, which business would you invest in? Tell us and why you would invest in. Holy Cross, Lakeview SS, the winners of last year's championship, are now back with Mustard Seed business. Kibuli SS in the Rolex business now, and I don't mean the watch, but the food. Wanyange Girls SS with vegetable growing, and Gayaza High School with the Gayaza School Savings Scheme, which is a simulation of the bank project that we did in our previous season. Now that we've found out who goes to the next stage in the Biz Grow category, let's find out who progresses to the finals in the Alum Grow category. So these are people who are already out of school, but they've been interning with the championship during their vacation. They've started businesses, and they are also pitching for investment from our investors that are partnering with us this season. Barbara.
So we had 8 businesses participating in the Alum Grow Challenge. So in the first place, we have Pacific Business Company. Nice. Second place, we have Viron Jewelry Company. And in the third place, we have Mr. B.
Oh.
In the fourth place, we have Natalie's Applique. Those are the best 4 businesses in this category.
You can tell us what businesses you'd like to invest in. If you're also out there and you see something that interests you, reach out to us. We'll be able to connect you with these businesses, and we start that partnership, because that's what it's all about. It can be. Use the hashtag #ItCanBe, Stanbic UG Champion. Follow your school, follow your business, and cheer for your favorite. It's not just a competition, it's also an experience. My name is Brian. See you next time. What a day. We found out our finalists and we're going to make sure that they all get the notification. Let me call actually a couple of them and see how they react, right? I think this is Teacher Saida. All right, can you guys hear? Okay. During COVID, you don't answer your call. All right. Hi, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, hi.
Am I speaking to Teacher Saida?
Yes, sir.
Teacher Saida, my name is Brian.
Yes.
I'm calling on behalf of Stanbic Bank.
Yes.
And what project did you do?
We wrote about a project concerning tailoring and making of liquid soap.
Oh, okay. Teacher Saida, you guys have progressed to the next level. Congratulations. You're one of the 4 schools from your region that is going to the next level.
Thank you. And I also, you made my heart fast to go.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Oh. Bye-bye. Oh, she's excited. She's so excited. So that is the first seed school to ever participate in the championship. And alas, they progress to the next level.